the fact that the Raiders nor the Cardinals have a coach yet, does that mean they're waiting for somebody in the Super Bowl? And if so, are they waiting for the same guy? Tom?
Clint Kubiak is going to interview with the Raiders and the Cardinals tomorrow. The way that this works is you are allowed to interview coaches from the teams that are in the Super Bowl. If you did a virtual interview in that first week or the second week, depending on the rules, you're allowed to have an additional in-person session this week, but it's at the mercy of when the team gives you that time to do those interviews. So the Seahawks were game planning like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They're practicing, the last couple of days here. Saturday is the first time that he's had that opportunity. And I don't believe that there's been any decisions made on Clint Kubiak's side or on the team side about exactly what direction this is going to go. Usually when teams wait this long, Rich, and we saw this with Kellen Moore last year with the Eagles. We saw it Arizona last time around with Jonathan Gannon. Sorry, my phone's going bananas here. It's been an interesting hour.
I bet.
So usually that would tell you they're waiting for someone. But there's several different scenarios here. It could be the Raiders, where you've got Fernando Mendoza in all likelihood as the number one pick, Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty. There are pieces to work with, although there's a ton of work to be done across the roster. Max Crosby, what's his future? He wasn't happy at the end of the season. You got to work through that. Arizona, you don't know who the quarterback is going to be. I would anticipate, nothing's done, but it would seem the most likely outcome with Kyler Murray is you cut him, you pay him the $40 million you owe him, you don't allow another $20 million to vest in March, and you kind of start fresh, eat it like the Broncos did with Russell Wilson, and just move forward into the future. But there's a lot of other things on that roster that you have to try to figure out. Okay, are the tools there? I would also say this, Rich. Look at both those divisions. Look at who you're going up against in the AFC West. It's Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, and Andy Reid. In the NFC West, it's Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Mike McDonald. If I were in that position, I might want to go to the division where at least the really excellent coaches are in their 60s, not their 30s and early 40s. That's just me. But those are all kind of parts of the factors, not to mention there's no scenario where he goes back to Seattle. We saw Ben Johnson do that. We saw DeMeco Ryans do it years ago, where you have all the interest. But if you don't feel like this is the right job for me right now, it makes sense to pull back a little bit. So those interviews are going to happen tomorrow. We'll probably have some answers into the early portion of next week. But also remember, you can't technically finalize the hire until after the Super Bowl. So there will be nothing binding until we get out to whatever it is, February 9th, the Monday after the Super Bowl. That's the first time that Clint would be able to sign on. Whoever's not getting him, or maybe if both teams don't get him, then you're into Mike LaFleur, who's a candidate for both jobs. Adrian Rivera, the Panthers defensive coordinator, is still a candidate for the Raiders. Anthony Weaver still a candidate for the Cardinals. There's still some moving parts here as this thing moves forward.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.